It's Jason's episode.
No, we
I mean, we ain't got to discuss it. I'm just wanting to know who is this man with this horse that you're going to go talk to about.
It's a friend that wants me to try his horse, but I have to. I'm kind of trying to think things through.
Are you
I haven't
open
had
to
sex
trying
in
his horse?
I haven't had sex since last summer. Yeah. So I'm like weird about it. I'm so weird.
Let's unpack that. Why are you weird about having sex since you didn't have it since last summer?
You got dingleberries or something?
Not dingleberries.
I'm always super apprehensive when there's a new partner, just because they're new, and it's just always like,
why?
Because I'm very particular with how I like things and how I do things, and to teach someone and to see, like, it's just,
Oh, this is a first timer, is what you're saying.
This is the first time of this with me.
Well, you may not have to teach him anything.
Right. Hopefully not.
You may not. How long have y'all been conversing?
Maybe like a year. Like, we've seen each other, we've hung out and shit, but he wants to see me buy his horse.
So in a year, you haven't talked about like a bitch. This escalated quickly. What?
This ain't gonna be about me. Let's get on with the show.
We're just asking clarifying questions.
That's totally all right. Now,
listen. First of all, no, absolutely not, because Jay and I have bore our fucking souls on this podcast.
I have as well.
Talking about our shenanigans with other guys. You have yet to discuss any situation with you and a man on this podcast
I talk about general things. I don't talk about my specific. I don't talk about my specific sex life. I talk about generalizations of things.
Well, this isn't a generalization podcast. This is Catch My Black and Gay. We are trying to catch your Black and Gay. You tried it.
I love it.
You tried it. I don't want to talk about this. We're not talking about it on a podcast.
Okay. Answer the questions. He identifies as straight.
You hear this shit, Jay? No, hold up. You hear this shit?
I hear it.
What?
As I'm painting my nails.
I can't listen. It's not my business to be putting my labels on anybody. He identifies as straight. We're friends. We're cool. We chill. We hang out together.
Okay. And so y'all have not had any conversation about like...
No, we've had conversations. We just haven't done anything.
Oh, okay.
But are you trying to convert him over, or is he genuinely
really
interested?
Is that the what?
No.
What?
I can't convert nobody over, child. I'm not the pastor. I'm not the pastor. I'm the deacon. No, we've spoken about stuff, and he's expressed stuff. He wants to try some stuff, and I haven't decided if I want to try things with him or not.
Wait a second. What kind of fucking question is that?
What? The converting?
Right. Are you trying to convert him as if he's interested? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm not the pastor, child. I can't convert nobody. This is not Scientology. I don't got no machines over here.
What does that mean?
What it means is it means there's certain, like, there are guys that identify as straight and that we build a relationship with, and we try to see like how far we could take it.
Y'all got me coughing up cold and shit.
Good.
That's a good thing.
The chef said that mucus got to come out, bitch. The mucus got to come out.
Get it out of there. Get it out of there.
Oh my God.
Y'all are hilarious. I am done indeed. Well,
done and dusted.
Chef, I say go ride that stallion. Enjoy.
Chef don't like to ride. He's a plain Jane child. He likes
I like back shots. I like to. I mean, what? Everybody likes doggy style.
Not I.
You know doggy style?
I don't like doggy style. Mm-mm. I like to see you when you fucking me.
I got mirrors all around my room. You see me.
We see each other.
We see each other. Go a little bit harder, deeper.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's get this show started.
How can you call me a starfish, bitch?
I called you a what?
I call it starfish. You said plain Jane.
Oh. Not the starfish.
What's plain about a starfish?
They just lay there.
I need the listeners to understand that you had to see what the fuck he just did to understand why we are dying the way that we are. What do they like? What is
Just lay there. You just lay there.
Lord. I love it.
I love it. Bitch.
Oh my God. Let's get this show started, child. You're tuned in to season 4 of Catch My Black and Gay podcast.
Where being black and gay is definitely okay.
This podcast was created to give African American gay men an outlet to express, debate, and give our opinion on today's pop culture, political, and life views.
Hey guys, you're tuned in to Catch My Black and Gay podcast, where being black and gay is definitely okay. I am your boy Jay, and I have my amazing, talented co-host with me today, Torian.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Chef Vaughn.
Wagwan.
It's been a week. And I need you guys' help. Let me just vent to y'all. How's work for you all? Are you guys liking work these days lately?
That makes me want to have a drink.
We got all day.
Oh, I have. I've been liking what I do at work. Haven't been really liking the people that I work with.
Why is that always the fucking problem?
I just feel like common sense is not so common, says Voltaire. Yeah, common sense is not so fucking common, and it's just other stuff going on that I don't even want to even say on this podcast. But yeah, no.
I think I like to say that common sense is common. I think the use of common sense is what's not common, because everybody don't use it. People got it, but them hoes don't be using it. You know, they be too high in the pie in the sky bullshit. They don't really be thinking like very common sense. But I think for me, work has been very stressful lately. And it hasn't been because of the work. It's been because of people that I've been needing to work with to do the work and who don't get it. And then they also microaggress and all of this other stuff. And if y'all know me, because y'all have listened to this podcast for 4 seasons now, y'all know that I am very particular about my interactions with white people and their and their racist antics or white supremacist antics. And so I've been having to like have some real conversations. And it hasn't been, I've had to have some real come to Jesus moments. Like, if it had not been for therapy, I legit was gonna quit one week because it had gotten just that bad. Because I'm at this place in my career where it's like I can go any motherfucking where. I can do anything. I've been doing this work for such a long time, and I'm great at what I do. I can go anywhere, and I've never been beholden to a job. And so for me, it's like if I am not happy, I have no problem with leaving and going somewhere else. And so I just had to have some like real hard conversations because I can't do it. Yeah.
Ain't that some shit when you know your worth? When you know what you bring to the motherfucking table?
And you add tax to that bitch?
Like, ain't that some shit?
No. I find myself stuck right now, career-wise. Like, I would love to quit my job in corporate America and do podcasting full time. So much to talk about, girl. But I find myself stuck in like in what my next steps are, and I know so many people are feeling that way. Especially making these big corporations all the money that we do and supporting them in their initiatives. I will say this week has been especially tough for me. You know, there's been a lot going on at work, and I'll give you guys the low down, and you guys might be able to relate to this. So one thing that I've always done is I've never applied for a job like without being asked to, like, hey, you should do this job because blah, A, B, and C. And that's how I've always, just fear of rejection, fear of, all that. Like, it's like I wholeheartedly believe in corporate America, when you have a position open, you know who you want, or you have an idea. That's about networking, right? And creating a pool. And when you become a leader, they tell you to, what is it called? Create your bench, right? Like, just in case, because people quit every day, so you kind of know who you want. Long story short, I was asked to we did we did a reorg, just like a lot of companies have done several reorgs since the pandemic and stuff, and it's common, it happens all the time. But anywho, there was a position open that I was told, like, hey, I think you'd be good for this, you should apply when it comes out. In the interim, can you do the work? Okay. Right. While we're backfilling, while we're getting all the stuff approved and things, can you fill in? Oh, sure.
Does that come with a pay increase?
Hello. But that we're always taught, like, and that's another thing about this story, like, they ask you to help out and stuff like that, and like, you're only good enough to help, right? But anywho, I wound up interviewing for the role just due to formality purposes. Like, you have to interview for the role. So I interviewed for the role, and I wound up not getting the role. So yes, it kind of, and here's the thing though, I was already prepared not to get the role because of my network and the people that I know. People had called me, executives called me and said they want someone else. And I'm like, got it. And I understood why they wanted a certain person. Understood. I'm fine with it, right? This wasn't the person who was the hiring manager. This was just someone that, sits in on some of the calls and stuff. So I'm like, what's going to matter here is how they treat me and how they deliver the message. That's what matters. And I was told that I didn't get the position from the recruiter, and that the lady who I work with every day, like, I have a beeline into her, like, she would give me feedback. Never gave me feedback. It's been almost a month, and I never got feedback. Nothing. Fast forward to yesterday. I was on a call, and my immediate boss, I had a difference of opinion with him, and he said that I should never have a difference of opinion in front of other people with him. And bitch, y'all know I went the fuck off. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Let me back up around this position. Let me give a little bit more context. I don't believe in work friends, but there's somebody that I'm very close to at work who interviewed for this position as well. And they did not get it. Me and this person interviewed for the position at the same time. We were in the same, whatever. This person got immediate feedback from this leader, his vice president, got immediate feedback from her when the recruiter called. I didn't. The recruiter called him an hour after me. In corporate America, or in leadership, I'm going to tell you, anybody that's in leadership right now, that's listening to this podcast, it is very important to give feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. If you don't give feedback, it's very dangerous. Not giving feedback is very dangerous, even for our white listeners. The reason why it's important, I feel, to give feedback to people is because not giving feedback is dangerous, and now you have someone that can control the narrative. And what I mean by control the narrative is now I control the narrative because I didn't give that feedback, right? And the only difference, right? And now in my mind, I'm comparing myself to my counterpart as to why he was given feedback and I wasn't. And the only thing I can come up with is race. I am the only Black person in management in this whole little whatever. I'm the only Black person working with these people. I think there's another Black woman, but she doesn't do the same things that I do. So not providing me feedback, I'm thinking now there's a race issue. Because why then this person is I won't even go there. Let me not even do that. This same person is they're actually prepping him for a role that he does not have to interview for. They're just going to give it to him. And the reason they said is because he didn't get this previous role. Well, there are 3 people that didn't get this previous role. What are we doing? So what I had to fast forward to today or yesterday, my boss called me this morning to give me feedback on a call that I was on. And I said something. He said I was abrupt and almost borderline disrespectful. So I'm like, I immediately started recording the call, bitch, because I'm like, wait a minute, where the fuck is this going? And I'm not a recorder usually, but bitch, I'm like, wait, where the fuck is this about to go? So he said that he loved that someone did something, and I said, well, I don't love that they did that. And he said that I disagreed with him in front of other leaders and never to do that again. And I said, why? And he just said it came across disrespectful. And I had to educate him on being inclusive, having, just different behaviors and the way people talk and stuff. Like, you're trying to shun me, right? And then we got into this whole dialogue about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how I feel that because this person, because it's this guy that I'm cool with, because he is white, I feel like he's given more opportunities. And I also feel as though he does the same thing on calls. He's not, reprimanded. And the first thing he said to me was, I'm not a Black man, so I don't know how you feel. And to me...
Wait a second, bitch. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
What did you say to him that warranted him to respond that?
Okay, so I said, let me just back up, because I'm just gonna say the full story, because I'm trying to beat around the bush and shit, and it's not landing, and I already feel it's not landing. Here's the thing. I've been frustrated. So I did say, hey, it might have come across a little harsh, only because I'm on the very same call with people that I've asked for feedback and that have been purposely avoiding me. I asked for, and here's my thing. I'm owed that feedback, right? If you guys work for a company and internally post for a position, they have an obligation to give you feedback on why you didn't get the role. Whether you were not qualified, overqualified, you weren't the right fit, you didn't interview well, they have an obligation to you to give you feedback. I'm not saying if you're some regular Joe Smo off the street. So I did tell him how frustrated I am and how I feel that race plays a part. And of course, when I said that, he said, "Have I ever done anything, or do you feel like I treat you differently because of your race?" And making it about him.
Of course,
and so,
white people.
Exactly. Victimizing his damn self.
Mm-hmm. White tears.
And what I
victim.
Yeah. And what I said to him was, no, but some of your decisions may some of your decisions might say something differently. And he asked me to explain. And I said, you gave someone a position without even interviewing for it, and you had a black man and a gay man, not I'm black and somebody else, he's gay, to interview for the same position, but you didn't give us an opportunity. So what you're saying is that this straight white man has everything packaged well, and we don't know what's well. What do you define as well? Does he speak better than us? Does he show up better than us? Like, these are the things. It's okay for me. I feel like it's okay to want someone for a position, but everyone has to go through the same process. So to say that I am eliminating a process and giving something to someone, it's so he didn't understand that. And that's where he came in and said, I don't understand. I'm not a black person. I'm not a black guy, so I don't. And that's the worst thing. I know you're not black. I see you on the fucking.
But I don't see how that. See, the way that I was trying to put two and two together, and I kind of thought that that's what you were saying. You saying it the way that you just said it only confirms to me what my initial thought was, which is that his admission of like, I will never know what you feel because I'm not a black guy, is him at least acknowledging that race played a part into this, which is why he will never understand how you feel because he's not black. Because how does one correlate to the other one? Because what I heard you just saying is that at the end of the day, and this is just true for everything, that you started off saying this, right? That like when you're when you're a hiring manager, when you have a position open, you already know an idea of who, or the person may not be the exact person, but you know what kind of person you're looking for. And many times, like I have a position open right now that I already in my mind are like, oh, this person will be perfect for this job.
Exactly.
Now, I may give this person the job. This person may end up getting the job, but here's the thing. They will still have to go through the exact same process like everybody else. And so for me, what I heard you saying was that at the end of the day, even if you were just going to give this person the job, they still need to be a formal process, hiring process, from posting it to receiving applications to doing interviews to then hiring, and also providing feedback and notice to people who apply this, like you don't get the job. Like all of those formalities still need to take place. And the fact that it didn't, your answer just now tells me exactly why it did not. Because of race, which is what you were afraid of to begin with. So he stupidly answered and gave you what exactly you were already feeling and thinking. Because how the fuck did we get from this is the formality and he shouldn't have been just giving this position, it should have been allowed for everyone to be interviewed, to, well, I don't know how you feel because I'm not black.
Right. And I don't want this position. It's a secondhand position like that. It's like, oh well, you didn't get this senior director or VP role, so we're gonna like give you this. Like, it's no extra pay. It's no nothing. It's
a
it's an appeasement. It's an appeasement.
Right. It's just like a 6 month. Right. It's like a 6 month gig. But like after 6 months, you go back to doing what you were doing. Like whatever. Like. So I'm not. It was just. It's just. It's the way it was handled, right? Yeah. Because you have other people that applied for this role that didn't get it, but you're making special accommodations for the one straight white guy that applied for this position. And how that when I asked for feedback on not getting the role, my boss said, I'm going to leave that up to her. He knows why I didn't get the role, but he doesn't want to say it. He wants to give it to the hiring manager who has been ignoring me for the last few weeks. Like, and it's like, why? Like, one, and then he says on this call, he says, she's avoiding you because she can't give you the feedback. But how does that make it right? That's not right. If you can't give feedback,
you need to be in that position. Like, that's your job. The fuck, a part of your job is doing this. And if you don't know how to relay why I was not chosen for a role, one or two things is happening. Either one, you probably shouldn't be doing the role. Yep. Secondly, it's something that you know for a fact would not be fucking okay to articulate to somebody.
Yep.
You know, this is... You know, you and I are two different people.
You are right, but I'm trying to, and I admire
this conversation would be.
Torian, I promise you, I have to unpack why I am scared to go there with these people. Because I should have. Well, one, I wasn't prepared for the conversation. That was one. This conversation. I do believe when you do have those types of conversations about race and inclusion, I think that you have to prepare yourself with factual data, factual scenarios or things that have happened. So I was not prepared for the conversation. This was sprung on me. So I had a problem collecting my thoughts because I also was trying to not hurt his feelings.
See, that's the problem for me.
Yeah, you're right. Problem. I know.
That's the problem. Not the problem. That's not the problem. Let me be clear. It's not the problem. That is the byproduct of white supremacy, right? Yeah. The idea that we somehow have to watch what we say, how we say it, because it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt somebody else's feelings, or it's going to make someone feel like, oh, they're calling me a racist, or they're calling me a white supremacist, or all of these things. The reality is that two things can exist in the same space. I can tell you about my experience without accusing you of being a racist, right? Both can be true in the same space. I can tell you about how I was a part of this situation that made me feel this particular way without you then making it like, oh, so you're trying to call me a racist? Are you trying to make this? Because then what you're doing is making it about you, and this isn't about you.
Yeah.
Right? And you kept saying to him, I'm not talking about you. Again, trying to soothe his whiteness and his fragility. And the reality is, no, this has everything to do with you because it may not be your actions, but you are a white person within this system that I can guarantee you in one way or another has benefited or who has allowed someone else, i.e. a white person, to benefit from this system of white supremacy. Mm-hmm. So yes, I am calling your ass to the carpet. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And he was guilty as fuck. He was guilty. Like he was guilty as fuck.
And I'm not playing the audio in the episode, guys.
No, don't.
I just let them listen to. We have to find a way to connect that.
But he was guilty as fuck. Like this just as it's trying to explain shit away was just like, okay, well, you really do feel this way. It's clear that you and this woman did have a conversation about me. Yeah. It's clear that race does kind of play a role in these things because just like how the shit blindsided you, where you couldn't really articulate exactly what to say, is like he had his shit already mapped out. So clearly, this is a conversation you've had before.
I just think that I have to, and listen, this is the work that I do though. Like at work, I'm in HR, I'm in like, and it's still happening to me. I am part of, this group that helps steer the company, and it still happens to me.
But here's the thing, Jay, that I want you to understand is that it is because you're within that system that you calling it out gives you validation to call it out and not sugarcoat it and not hide it. Because the reality is this: as a person who works in HR, these are things that are issues. These are why people leave jobs. These are why people literally leave a job and then sue the organization because of dynamics like this. And so it's also like, also stand in the fact that like, bitch, I do this. Like for, my title is HIV director and health equity. And I am always pulling out the health equity card. I am always leaning into that because I need all of you to understand that while you may think that this is just, status quo or that this doesn't matter, the way that I see all the things that I do is through a health equity lens. And so if I make a decision, you can guarantee your ass that it's because I am thinking not just on surface, but also how does this impact health equity? And so essentially what you're saying is like, listen, you may think that this is okay. You may think that this is normal. However, let's think about the perception or what people can gather from looking at this or experiencing these things. This is what people can be. This is the conclusions that people can come to. And sometimes we need to not be, sugarcoating shit for white folk. In fact, we should never be sugarcoating shit for white folk because I listen. I
find it hard to find the comfortable medium of being professional and me cursing you the fuck out.
Because
here's the thing, though: who created what's professional? White supremacy.
That's the part. That's where. Again, I couldn't even get, because I was enraged already that you're trying to tell me how to act, how to talk, you literally gave me what I should say next time. And you're an old white fart. But literally, I forgot my thought, but I just, I feel that, it's gone. My thought is gone. I've been in my feelings all day.
No, I think, and I can I be honest with you too? I think a part of why you're in your feelings is because you didn't respond the way that you feel like you should have responded.
Yes.
And you didn't show up the way that you wanted to. And so now what's happening is you're feeling guilt.
Yourself.
And you're right, and you're feeling that, like this, like, oh shit, I should have did something different. I should have I should have said this, or I should have done that. And here's the reality: you can still fucking do that shit. Because I will absolutely send an email like, hey, can we do a follow-up email? Because I've been thinking a little bit more about our conversation. I think there's more things that we need to unpack and have a conversation about. Because the reality is that if you don't do this, it will continue to perpetuate itself, and you will continue to feel the way that you fucking feel, and that's not okay. I can guarantee you right now, what's his name, Mark, whoever the fuck his name is, he is sleeping nice and pretty at this time of night right now when we're recording this, and you're talking about how you're still in your feelings. That's not okay. Fuck that.
He's sleeping this early because he old, or this early because he white? I'm confused.
Both. with Fox News playing in the background, bitch.
He ain't got a care in the world. He's on the 8. He's relaxing. He probably had him a gin and tonic or some other shit, and he's cool, or a glass of red wine.
As you all hear, like all that stuttering and stuff, he was nervous. He was really nervous.
Absolutely he was. He should have been. He should have been. Don't you try to police my behavior. Again, like you said, to your point, it's a difference if I'm being completely disrespectful. I ain't cursing. I ain't disrespecting you as a person. But here's what I have always said, and I've always done, even in my interview at my new job. I said, listen, this is who you're getting. I am this person. I will show up for this way, and if I'm not able to show up for this way, I am not the person for this job. Don't hire me. Because I can tell you right now, I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to leave, or you're going to try to fire me. Because I am always going to show up 100% as Torian. Okay? And if that's not who you want, if that's not what you need, then I am not the person for you. And I'm okay with that. Right? And I had to remind my boss and my boss's boss recently because I was dealing with this shit with a white woman who was being extremely racist, like extremely racist, and like saying stupid off the wall shit. Like, and so for me, I was like, listen, I don't have to deal with this shit. I told y'all from the very beginning, the way that my brain works is that I come into a system, I look at the system, I learn the system, I find the gaps within the system, and then I find solutions to those gaps. That is the way that my brain operates. If that's not the person that you're looking for, I am not the person for the job.
Yeah.
I told y'all, I gave y'all experiences of my dynamics with white women, particularly, and how toxic it is, and how white women have oftentimes used their position and their privilege to assert authority over me in ways that is not healthy and I am not okay with. I gave y'all all of this backstory and I said, this is happening again. And what I'm telling you is, if there is no fix, I will be gone. So y'all need to tell me what y'all gonna do. And they were like, well, I think we need to have conversations. And I was like, with all due respect, I am not having a conversation. This is not a conversation that is going to involve me, because I'm not going to do extra emotional labor and deal with trauma all over again to have conversations with people who aren't interested in having those conversations. So I'm just going to be left frustrated, and I'm not doing that again. So y'all can have those conversations. Y'all can exert that labor. I'm not doing it. And I think the reality is, it's tough. I don't want to, for a second, perpetuate that like it's easy, or portray that this is an easy conversation. It is not an easy conversation. But here's the thing: right will always be right. Right will always be able to stand on its own. Period. Period. And sometimes we have to say that, because, like you said, we know. And when you say too that, like, we have to come to these conversations with data and this and that. Here's the reality. Our experience is data. We don't have to go and research it. We ain't got to talk about 90% of this, 60% of that, because honestly, they don't give a fuck about that. They don't care about that. But if I tell you that in my experience here, this is how I felt, and these are the situations that I can recall of me feeling a certain way based off of race or based off of orientation or whatever, that's data. Because at any moment, I can leave this fucking job and sue you hoes.
But yeah, I just feel like it's so evident that race plays a factor in so many decisions, and these people don't even realize it.
They don't.
That's my frustration with work,
because they're not affected.
And even being in being in inclusion and belonging, and it has to start from the CEO. It has to start from, like, you can't just build these strategies and initiatives, and I don't know. It's weird.
And the vicious thing from the head. You got how was that to start from the head at the end of the motherfucking day?
No, facts. I think the other thing to remember is that, and I said it earlier, right, that like you don't have to be a racist to uphold white supremacy. There are people who uphold white supremacy. Like so this idea that they are mutually exclusive is ridiculous, right? You can have one without the other, right? And so I think that's the way we have to just be honest, that, like, when we talk about professionalism, that's a byproduct of white supremacy. Who created the structure of what's professional and what's not?
Boom.
Right? Boom. That, like, so it's a whole bunch of things that we need to deconstruct in order to reconstruct, especially and I love what you were saying, Jay, because you're absolutely right that, like, equity requires that we see people for who they are and allow them the space to show up as their most authentic self, understanding that when people are able to be authentic to who they are, that is the magic. That's the magic. That's where folks can grow. That's where folks can be creative. That's where folks' maximum potential, and I hate the word of potential, but their maximum capacity can be fulfilled and reached. It's when we put these barriers on people of how they need to show up, how you need to talk. I don't give a fuck. Everybody ain't as quote unquote articulate, which is why I hate when people be like, oh, Turing, you're so articulate. No, bitch, I'm not. Because I can say the same thing that somebody else says, and it means the same fucking thing. That means nothing.
Yep.
Right. And so I think that we need to really begin to deconstruct those things, which is why I think it's important that when folks are in this work, i.e. Jay and I, and I mean in this work, like particularly like,
right,
because even Chef, you're in this work, it just looks differently in the in the in the kitchen. But when you're actually like doing HR DEI work intentionally, it's like, it's incumbent upon us to always call them to the fucking carpet when they're doing some shit that does not uphold inclusion, equity, because they don't get it. They will never get it because they don't experience the world in which the way we experience it. They don't have to. And so it's very unconscious for them. It's very unconscious for them.
Yep.
And so we have to bring it conscious. Like, no, you have to be more intentional about this shit. Like, you have to be. It takes intentionality. And y'all know I love this shit. I love this work. And I love calling folks to the carpet because, I've been through some shit in my career on multiple levels. And for me, it's just like, I'm in a space now where, like, I don't need this motherfucking job, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
I feel the same way. And that's where I'm at in my life, where I'm like, bitch, what am I doing this for? Because corporate America is going to be corporate America. I don't give a fuck where you go. I work for a Fortune 50 company, and I know someone that works for a Fortune 20 company and experiencing the same shit. Like, and it's just, it's baffling. It's very, like, these companies are very performative, and it's just, they don't understand. They don't take the time to understand. What, we need another George Floyd for y'all to get serious about DE&I again?
No, because that don't work. The fuck? No, if George Floyd's situation didn't happen, what the fuck? No, that doesn't matter, because even George Floyd don't impact them. Their family ain't getting shot down. Ain't no one of their kids, their father, their son, their uncle ain't getting shot down. Their aunt, their sister ain't getting shot down. So no, or getting choked out. It's not happening to them. I can tell you one thing: impact their motherfucking pocket. I bet you they show the fuck up.
Hello. I was going to say that they only care if it affects their pockets. So they care about black people in February and they care about the gays during Pride, but the rest of the year it's like, okay,
shit, they don't even care about it then. Intentionally, like, I don't know. I do know, but y'all know I can go on a rant real quick about this shit, because this shit is, because you were saying about you working in corporate, and somebody else working in top 20 and you top 50. The thing is, I work for a nonprofit. And it still happens.
That shit is
and you would think that in a nonprofit where your culture can literally be whatever you want it to be, we're not beholden to a corporate setting. You would think that it would be a little more DEI friendly. Absolutely not. We're still dealing with some of the same fucking shit. Same shit, because it's not people, is systems. We are created within systems, and the system is working the way the fuck it is meant to work.
Yep.
Call them out. Call the white people out. I do it all the time, child.
I love it.
I mean, you definitely have to have another conversation with him. Like, you can't end it there.
I do. And it's almost like, I do need to have another conversation, but I also am like, bitch, you're like 68 years old. You're never going to get it.
But here's the other thing to it. It's a safety net for you, though, Jay. Because then if it becomes another situation,
you're right.
He can't say you didn't tell him. He can't say this is the first time that he's being told, because now I have documentation about a conversation that you and I had where I told you these are some things that I've been experiencing, and you did nothing. And as my direct supervisor, you are supposed to do something. You are supposed to follow up on that shit. Legally, you are supposed to. So now when you don't do your due diligence, baby, that's another motherfucking lawsuit on your ass. Yep. So what you want to do, go have these conversations with your white folks. White man, go talk to your white people. Because the other thing is that we shouldn't, as black people, should not be having to be the ones to bear the burden to have these conversations with white people. White people need to start having these conversations with white people. They need to start taking the lead on these conversations with white people about how to deconstruct white supremacy, how to show up differently when we're talking about DE&I. There's so many fucking research papers. There's so many scholarly essays. There's so many books out here that you can fucking educate yourself on. Fuck, there's a book that literally says how to be an anti-racist. Okay? You can go and read the book and take some of those and literally day by day implement some of them and work on them and give them and pass them along, because I will do it, but it should not be incumbent on me. It shouldn't be, the pressure shouldn't be on me to do that.
Agreed.
100%.
And that's also, lastly, let me say too, that's the difference between what I believe allyship and accomplice. Allyship is the shit that we talk about when Pride happens, where people are just put the motherfucking Pride flag like, oh, we love the gays, come here. That's allyship. Accomplishing is literally when you are losing something for the sake of a greater good. You are not losing nothing by putting a fucking sign up in your business that says gays are welcomed here. You're not losing anything when you say, oh, yes, I support the LGBTQ community, or I support Black Lives Matter. You're not losing nothing by saying that. But what are you doing? What steps are you actually taking? Are you putting yourself in a position for potentially losing your position or losing your job for the betterment of somebody else? To get in a position to be better? Like, how are you progressing this work forward in real tangible ways? It's sort of like, when you're robbing a car, when you're robbing a bank, everybody who's in that process of robbing that motherfucking bank is an accomplice. Yep. All of you are doing something that you all have something to lose, because if one of us get caught, bitch, likely we all going down.
Don't be no snitch, bitch.
Snitches.
It's like all of us are going to lose something. And it's like you just going around here, the shits and the giggles, the pomp and the circumstance. Like, nah, you can keep that, baby. You can keep your allyship. How do we move from allyship to being an accomplice in this work?
Yep. I love it. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to Catch My Black and Gay podcast. Follow us on all social media platforms at Catch My Black and Gay. Motherfucking tired of these motherfuckers.
Okay.